Hello everyone, welcome back to accounts class. Today we will be solving problems on compound entries. In the previous class I have taught you how to pass the journal entries using the accounting rules. Those are simple journal entries. Today I am going to teach you how to pass the journal entries when there are compound entries. When there are two or more aspects in a transaction, how do we go ahead with that and pass the journal entry? So let's move on to the class. Today we will be solving this particular problem. Journalize the following transactions. 2017 January 1st, started business with cash rupees 2,30,000, goods rupees 1 lakh, and buildings rupees 2 lakhs. Means usually we used to start in business with cash, but now in this business they are starting business with cash. Along with the cash they are also having a goods worth rupees 1 lakh, and also they have building with them costing rupees 2 lakhs. Okay, next, brought goods for cash rupees 5,000. so this is a simple entry. Okay, they are purchasing the goods worth rupees 5,000. Next, date number 8, sold goods costing rupees 30,000 for rupees 35,000. So this is also a compound entry. So here goods have been sold for rupees, actual they have sold for 35,000, but the cost of that goods actual cost is 30,000. They should have been sold it for 30,000. Instead of 30 they have sold it for 35, where 5,000 is a profit that we need to show. Moving on to the next, purchase, date number 10, purchase goods from Rahul rupees 55,000, a normal simple entry. Date number 14, sold goods to Varun costing rupees 50,000 for rupees 60,000. Date number 18, paid cash to Rahul in full settlement of rupees 53,000. In full settlement, here you may get certain discounts. Whenever you have seen this word full settlement, there will be some discounts, so that I'll teach you how to calculate. Next, moving on, date number 20, received cash from Varun in full settlement of rupees 59,000. Here also there is a full settlement, so we should see what is the discount over there. Okay, depreciation charges on buildings rupees 10,000. So there is certain depreciation done on the building. What do you mean by depreciation? Depreciation is nothing but it is value of the asset is going to be decreasing. Every year there will be certain decrease or increase in the value of asset. So in asset means, do you remember, building comes under the assets only. Buildings are assets of the business. So for the building they have certain value is been decreased. Depreciated means decreased at rupees 10,000. So depreciation on buildings. Fresh capital introduced rupees 50,000. Again on January 30th they have extra 50,000 they have invested as capital. So these are all the transaction. Now using this transaction, let us pass the journal entries. So as I told you in the previous class, we shall have one rough sheet so that it will be easy for you to find out the aspects and to write the entries. Okay, so this is your format. I hope everyone knows the format now. Date, particulars, ledger folio, debit and credit. Since there is no name of any business here, I have written journal entries. If at all they have given any business name, we should write journal entries in the books of so and so, whatever the name is given. Okay. Now since there is no name, I have written only journal entries. Starting with the first entry, started business with cash, goods and building. So here the aspects are cash, goods, buildings, and also we have, when we start a business, it will be also capital. So there are 4 aspects here. Okay, now cash belongs to asset, Goods belongs to asset, buildings belongs to asset, capital belongs to capital. Now, when you are starting a business, before starting a business, everything was nil. Nothing was there. Now, when you started from zero, you have started. Now, the cash value is rupees 2,30,000. Goods is 1 lakh and buildings is 2 lakhs. So, all the assets value is increasing. So, all these will be debited. And capital also increased. So, increase in capital will be credited. Apply the rules here. Okay, all these three belongs to assets. So all the assets values are increasing. So all these three accounts will be debited. Capital value is also increasing. According to the rules of capital, increase in capital will be credited. So capital account should be credited. Okay, now I will show you how to write the entry, how to pass the entry. On 2017 January 1st. Dates are very important. Okay, so which account is debited? I am taking only the first. Cash account, debtor. Okay, next goods account, debtor, or else you can also write stock. Instead of goods you can write stock. Either one is correct. And next buildings account, debtor. So three accounts have been debited. And next to capital account is credited. So to capital account. Okay, now how do you write the amount? The total amount of cash is 2,30,000, debit column. Since cash account is debited, I am writing in the debit column. Okay, next goods worth rupees 1 lakh, that is also in debit column. Buildings worth rupees 2 lakhs, that's also in debit. Okay, so capital will be all three you should add. 3 lakhs plus 5 lakhs 50,000. So 5,30,000 will be your capital total all together, because all these three items you are using to start up a business. These three assets you are using to start up a business. So all three becomes the total of all three will become the total of capital. Total capital that you have invested is 5,30,000. Okay. Now we need to write the narration. Alright. So starting with brackets, being started business with cash, stock and buildings. So this will be your narration. Are you able to follow me? So draw the line. Okay. Moving on to the next entry, that is date number Jan 4th. So entry is transaction is bought goods for cash rupees 5,000. Okay, so bought goods means it is a purchase. One aspect will be purchase, and they have clearly mentioned that is for cash. So purchase is an expense, cash is an asset. Is it right? When you purchase, your expenses are increasing, so increase in expense will be debited. And when you purchase, your cash is reduced. The cash balance, since you are paying, cash amount will be reducing. Cash balance will reduce in your business. So decrease in asset will be credited. Okay. So pass the entry. Purchase account, debtor to cash account. Okay, the amount is 5,000. Fine. For this narration, being purchased goods for cash. This will be your entry. Next, moving on to the next entry, that is on January 8th. Very important. Look here. So sold goods costing rupees 30,000 at rupees 35,000. Sold goods, obviously there is sales and you are selling for cash itself. There is no name of any person. So I am taking sales and cash. And what is the actual cost of goods is 30,000. But they are selling for 35,000. What is the difference here? 5,000 is the difference. So what is this? Are you getting an extra amount or you are losing an extra amount? We are receiving an extra 5,000, that is profits. So I am just taking here profit and loss. Profit and loss account. Okay, profit and loss account. Since this is a profit, that means it belongs to incomes and gains. So when your incomes and gains are increasing, it will be credited. Increase in incomes and gains will be credited. Is it right? And when you are selling, cash is an asset. Cash balance also increases. So increase in asset will also be debited. And when you sell, sales is an income. So when you sell, obviously it increases your income. So again this will be credited. Okay, are you able to follow? How did I take three aspects? One is sales and one is cash. And since we can find out the difference easily, instead of 30,000 they have sold it for 35,000, where it shows 5,000 extra gains they have got. So for that we will represent as profit and loss account, which says this is an income. It is, since it is a profit, it is an income. According to income rules, when incomes or gains are increased, it will be credited. And sales is also incomes. So when income is increased, it will be credited. And cash is an asset. Cash balance is also increasing. So increase in asset will be debited. Able to follow? Now I will show you how to pass the entry. So on Jan 8th, cash account, debtor, to sales account, to profit and loss account, profit or loss account. This is slash, okay, profit or loss account. Now how do you write the amount here? Very important. Now total actual cash, how much we received? 35,000 we have received. Okay. Now what is actual sales? 30,000. Actual amount of that goods is, actual value is 30,000. Now how much we received as profit? 5,000. So this credit side total is equal to debit side. It should be equal. Every transaction it should be equal. When you pass here the entries, if it is wrong, here it will not tally. After passing, if it's not tallying, that means you have to check, cross check this with this rules whether you have done it correctly or not. Instead of debiting, if you have credited, it will go wrong here. Okay, so one account is debited and two accounts are credited in this particular transaction. Got it? For this narration being sold goods for cash and gained profits. So that will be completing one entry. So these are all these two are compound entries. This is simple entry. Okay, are you able to follow this? Shall we move on to the next transaction? So next transaction is on 18th. Yes, not 18th, sorry, Jan 10th. Next transaction is on Jan 10th. Purchase goods from Rahul rupees 55,000. So purchase goods, one aspect will be purchases. There is no cash in the transaction and they have given a name of a person. That means it is a credit transaction. So we need to take the name of the person. So purchase is an expense. It is expenses are increasing. It will be debited. And who is this Rahul? Since we are taking the goods from purchasing the goods and we are not paying anything. We are paying in future. We are taking a risk benefit from him. So Rahul, we are creditor to whom the firm we are liable to pay in the future. Right. So he is a liability. So liability is also increasing. So increase in liability will be credited. Okay. So pass the entry now. On Jan 10th, purchase account, debtor to Rahul account, amounting rupees 55,000. Narration for this being purchased goods from Rahul on credit. So this will be your narration. Okay. Now let's move on to the next transaction. Moving on to the next transaction, that is date number 14, Jan 14. Sold goods to Varun costing rupees 50,000 for rupees 60,000. So you have sold goods means obviously it will be one aspect will be sales, right? And the other one they have told it, they have not mentioned any cash, but they have given the name of the person. So we need to take it as name of the person. We are taking name of the person. Okay. Are you able to follow this? Yes. And here they have given very clearly, instead of 50,000 they are selling it for 60,000. Instead of 50,000 they are selling it for 60,000, where we can see 10,000 profit. You can see 10,000 as profit. So here one more will be profit and loss account. Still we have not received, but we are recording it. Okay. So sales is an income. It is increasing, so it will be credited. Varun is our debtor. So it becomes asset. Increase in asset will be debited. And profits is an income and gain, that is also increasing, so that will be increase in income will be credited. Okay, able to follow now? So the same entry we are going to pass. On Jan 14, Varun account is debited. So I am see how Varun account is debited. So we are taking Varun as first. Varun account debtor to sales account to profit or loss account. Okay, understood? And Varun's account, how much actually he is paying is 60,000. Total he is paying 60,000. But actual price of sales is 50,000. And extra how much we are receiving the profit is 10,000. Okay. For this narration being sold goods for Varun on credit and earned gains. You can write profits or gains. Okay. Next, moving to the next transaction, important, please note down. So here on Jan 18, paid cash to Rahul in full settlement of rupees 53,000. See here, paid cash to Rahul in full settlement of rupees 50,000. Okay. So Rahul, already we have purchased goods. You can see on date number 10, we have purchased goods from Rahul on credit basis. When we purchase the rupees, how much they have charged is 55. But when we are settling the account, that is on date number 18, we are paying back to Rahul. Out of 55,000, we are paying only 53,000. Full settlement means entirely we are making the payment and closing the account. Okay. So instead of 55,000, we are paying only 53,000, where it shows there is certain difference. How much is the difference? 55 minus 53. 2,000 rupees difference we are getting. That 2,000 rupees they have given as, we should consider as discount. Okay. So here we are taking Rahul as one aspect, cash as one aspect, and discount as other aspect. There are three aspects. Okay, are you able to follow me? There are three aspects. Okay, so who was Rahul? Rahul, you can see here itself, Rahul was our creditor. Since we have taken the benefit, we are liable to pay back, right? So he is a liability. When we are paying, obviously liability will be decreasing. So decrease in liability will be debited. And again, cash is an asset. When you pay certain cash, cash or balance also will decrease. So decrease in asset will be credited. Now, discount, you should know whether it is an income or expense by reading the transaction. Since when we are paying, we will be receiving the discount. When we receive discount, it becomes an income. If at all we are paying and we are receiving some discount, that is an income. In case if we are receiving some cash, some X person is making the payment for us around 55,000, instead of 55 he is paying 53, assuming. Okay, in that case, if we are giving the discount, that is discount allowed, that becomes an expense. During the purchases, we are purchased certain goods and we are making certain payment. When we are making payment, if we receive a discount, that becomes an income. Discount will become an income. So here, increase in income will be credited. Okay, are you able to follow? So for this, the entry will be January 18th, Rahul account debtor to cash account to discount account. Okay, now what is the amount that actually we need to pay for, how much we are paying, that we should write. Okay, so what is the total amount that we need to pay for Rahul? 55,000. You have to see the previous transaction also. So total amount that we need to pay for Rahul is 55,000. But we are paying cash how much? 53,000. And how much discount we got? 2,000 as our discount. Understood? For this narration being cash paid to Rahul and received discount. This will be your entry. So next, moving on to the next transaction. So next transaction is happened on Jan 20th. Cash received from Varun in full settlement of 59,000. So Varun's transaction is already happened on 14th. You have to cross check the previous transaction related to the same person. So Varun's transaction is already done on 14th. So we have to check. So what is the value of goods that we sold for him? We have sold it for 60,000. But now we are receiving only 59,000. In full settlement, when there is a word full settlement, obviously there will be certain discount. That is a hint for you. So when there is full settlement word, it shows there is certain discount. So out of 60,000, Varun is paying only 59,000. That means what? 1,000 is allowed as discount. Since Varun is paying to us, discount will become an expense for us. We are not receiving total 60,000. We are receiving 59,000. So 1,000 we are showing as a discount, which is an expense for us. Okay. So the aspects are Varun, cash and discount. 3 aspects. Okay. So Varun was our debtor. In previous transaction, you can check on the transaction date 14. Varun is our debtor. So debtor is an asset. When he is paying, obviously debtor's value will be decreasing. So decrease in asset will be credited. And cash is also an asset. So when we receive some cash, cash balance will increase. So increase in asset will be debited. And discount, here it is an expense. Since we are not receiving in discount, we are allowing discount. We are giving the discount for Varun. So that is an expense for the firm or the business. So increase expenses also. So here discount is also an expense. Increase in expense will be debited. Okay. Are you able to follow? Now let's pass the entry on Jan 20th. Cash account debtor discount allowed. I am writing here discount allowed so that it will be clearly understood. Debtor to Varun account. Now how much actual cash we have received? 59,000 we have received. And 1,000 we have given as discount. So in our Varun's account, according to Varun, that is 60,000 he has to pay actually. So that we are going to show here. Okay. Narration being received cash from Varun and allowed discount. This is the narration. Okay. Shall we move on to the next transaction? Date number 20. So in every page, when you go for a new page, continuation of the problem is there. You have to write the format. That is very important. You have to continue the format in the next new page also when the same problem is continued for the next page. Okay. Date number 25. Depreciation charges on buildings. So depreciation charges on buildings. Here depreciation is one aspect and one more is buildings. Here cash will not come. It is not done any cash transaction here. Okay. It is non-cash transactions. It's just for the sake recording in the books, we are maintaining certain depreciation. So depreciation, as I told you, it is the decrease in the value of asset. So according to this transaction, it says the value of the buildings is decreasing. So it will be the expense. Depreciation will be an expense. So increase in expenses will be debited. Buildings is an asset. So when there is certain depreciation, the value of asset is obviously it will be decreasing. So asset value is decreasing means it will be credited. entry will be on January 25th. Entry will be depreciation account debtor to buildings account, to buildings account, amounting rupees 10,000. Narration being depreciation charges on buildings, depreciation charges on buildings. So this will be the entry. Next we have the last entry, last transaction on January 30th. So on Jan 30th, fresh capital introduced for rupees 50,000. So cash and its capital, instead of just writing a capital, I am writing as additional capital. Cash is an asset, capital is a capital account, cash value will increase, so it is debit. Capital is also increasing, it will be credit. Increase in capital will be credited. It's a simple entry. Okay. So here on Jan 30th, cash account debtor to additional capital account, amounting rupees 50,000. Narration being additional capital is introduced. Finally, we should have the total of both debit and credit that we have to show. So this is the entry. Last we have to write the total, debit column and credit column. Both side you have to do the total. So from the beginning of our problem, we should add debit side, credit side. Okay. So here is the amount, 2,30,000 plus 1 lakh plus 2 lakhs 5,000. Only debit column I am taking. 35,000, 55,000, 60,000, 55,000, again here 60,000, next 10 plus 5, it is 60. So total I am getting in the debit side 8,60,000. Let me check the credit column also. So 5,30,000 plus 5,000, here 30 plus 5, 35,000, 55,000 plus here 50 plus 10, it is 60,000, 53 plus 2,000, 55,000, 60,000, and again here 50 plus 10, it is 60. So 8,60,000. Both the side I got the same total. Okay, this tallied. Debit column and the credit column both has been tallied. Okay, this is how we are going to solve the compound journal entries. Okay, I hope you have understood. We should know which is profit and which is discount allowed, discount received. Both things you have to learn. Profits during the sales, If you earn more profits, that will be considered as incomes profits. Okay, and discount allowed is an expense, discount received is an income. Please note these points. Okay, thank you for watching my video. Have a good day.